Have you ever felt like no one tells the truth about women anymore? Every conversation is either blind worship or bitter resentment. Never clarity, never honest insight. Society idealizes women as pure, nurturing, and morally superior. But what if this image is nothing more than a carefully crafted illusion? What if one of history's most controversial philosophers saw through it all over a century ago? Friedrich Nietzsche was not afraid to say what others wouldn't. He didn't hate women, but he didn't romanticize them either. While most thinkers of his time either dismissed or pedestalized women, Nietzsche went deeper. He asked, what lies beneath the surface? Not what men want women to be, but what they really are. Like, beneath the social masks, behind the ideals and past the roles imposed on them, he discovered something uncomfortable, something few dared to confront even today. Not because it's offensive, but because it's true. Nietzsche believed that the relationship between men and women was not built on equality or idealized love, but on instinct, power, and survival. And the more you look around today, the more his vision seems eerily accurate. This isn't a script about blame. It's not about glorifying men or criticizing women. It's about facing a deeper truth, one that reveals the hidden forces behind gender, attraction, and control. Imagine a world where every conversation about women is shrouded in mystique and sentimentality. Men, unable to handle the wild, unfiltered complexity of the female spirit, construct a fantasy, a projection that paints women as pure, innocent, delicate, and morally elevated. Nietzsche called this romantic idealization a dangerous lie. It's not true love, but a self-deception, a way for men to protect themselves from the chaos of reality. Men don't fall in love with women as they are. They fall in love with an idea, a carefully constructed illusion that makes them feel safe, inspired, and even superior. They dress up their deepest insecurities in the garb of adoration, hoping that by clinging to this fantasy, they can avoid the raw, unpredictable nature of genuine human connection. When the illusion eventually cracks, and it inevitably will, men feel betrayed, not because the woman has changed, but because the fantasy they built around her was never real to begin with. Consider love, not as a gentle union of hearts, but as a battlefield where two opposing forces collide. Nietzsche saw love as a strategic contest, a relentless clash of instincts and desires. Men project their dreams and ideals onto women, expecting them to fulfill roles that promise salvation, beauty, and emotional security. Yet, women are not there to act as saviors or symbols of perfection. They are complex, instinct-driven beings, each with her own will to survive and thrive. In this arena, every gesture is loaded with intention. A smile, a touch, even a whispered word is not merely a sign of affection, but a tactical move. Men love the idea of women, while women, having learned to navigate a world that has long denied them overt power, use every interaction as a subtle form of control. Love, in Nietzsche's view, isn't the harmonious blending of two souls. It's an ongoing negotiation of power, a delicate dance where each step is a calculated effort to either assert dominance or secure survival. Now let's shatter another myth. The notion that women are weak or in need of rescue. Nietzsche saw women as masters of a different kind of strength, a strength that doesn't shout its presence but whispers its command. Throughout history, women have been denied access to formal power, unable to rule nations or lead armies, yet this denial sparked an entirely new kind of influence. Stripped of overt authority, women developed a refined art of control, one rooted in charm, seduction, and emotional precision. Their power is not less than that of men, it's simply different. It's a quiet, persistent mastery of the surface that controls everything beneath. Women have learned that in a world driven by appearance, the mask matters more than the reality it conceals. Their beauty, grace, and social intelligence are not mere ornaments, but weapons. Tools honed over centuries to shape perceptions and guide outcomes without ever raising a voice. This power is strategic. It's the art of influence, where every smile, every carefully chosen word, and every calculated gesture serves a purpose. Women understand the deep currents of human nature, the desires, the egos, the pride that drives men, and they know how to manipulate these forces without overt confrontation. Nietzsche admired this ability, but he also warned against underestimating it. In a society that prizes visible power, the subtlety of female influence is both brilliant and dangerous. Let's move to another layer of deception. Morality. Society loves to parade its moral values as the highest truth. Women are often celebrated for traits like humility, patience, and self-sacrifice, qualities lauded as virtuous and nurturing. But Nietzsche challenged us to see these traits for what they truly are: strategic adaptations. In a world where brute strength is the domain of men, women have embraced a morality that serves as both shield and sword. Morality, in this light, isn't about a sincere commitment to truth or goodness. It's a performance, a survival tactic. By elevating values that make them appear harmless and pure, women secure a place in a society that otherwise marginalizes them. This moral posture is not innocent. It's a calculated act designed to diffuse potential threats and to win influence in subtle yet profound ways. When a woman speaks of fairness, what is she really doing? She is perhaps unconsciously invoking a language of power, a language that promises protection and control without the need for overt aggression. Nietzsche saw this as both brilliant and tragic, and brilliant because it is an ingenious form of resistance against a hostile world, tragic because it forces a perpetual self-deception. For too long, the moral narrative has masked the raw, survival-driven instincts that govern human behavior. Fast forward to today, and the landscape is shifting. The independent woman is no longer a myth or a rare exception. She's becoming the norm. Nietzsche foresaw this evolution with both awe and apprehension. As women break free from the chains of dependency, they expose a power that men have long feared. A woman who no longer needs protection, approval, or validation from men becomes a force in nature, direct, assertive, and unapologetically self-defined. This emergence disrupts the long-held illusion that women exist only to serve a sentimental ideal. For many men, raised to feel superior by default, this shift is deeply threatening. It isn't a challenge to male worth per se, but a confrontation with the collapse of an elaborate fantasy that has shielded them from the uncomfortable realities of human desire and power. Nietzsche predicted that this liberation would not lead to a harmonious utopia, but to a profound redefinition of gender dynamics. The rise of the independent woman would unsettle the established order, forcing both sexes to renegotiate the terms of their interactions. Men would have to abandon the comforting lie that they are the sole arbiters of power and worth, while women would have to confront the full scope of their own influence, a responsibility as daunting as it is liberating. At the heart of Nietzsche's philosophy is a stark recognition. Love and relationships are not the poetic unions we're often led to believe they are. They are instead battlegrounds where competing instincts and survival strategies collide. Men love the idea of women clinging to a fantasy that offers safety and certainty, while women, having mastered the art of subtle warfare, use every interaction as a strategic maneuver in a high-stakes game. Yeah, the romantic illusion is nothing more than a collective self-deception, a way to avoid confronting the raw, brutal dynamics that lie beneath the surface. When reality intrudes, when the carefully maintained masks slip, men are left exposed, their fantasies shattered, and their egos bruised. Nietzsche wasn't interested in romanticizing this conflict. He saw it as the unvarnished truth of human existence, a truth that demands recognition, however painful. Imagine a dance where each partner hides behind a mask. One partner projects a serene, idealized image, while the other, though equally complex, adapts a performance honed by necessity. Like, when the masks finally drop, the scene is not one of harmony but of chaos, a revelation that the characters you admired were mere constructs, illusory plays designed to obscure the relentless underlying struggle for power and survival. Nietzsche's critique was not a call for nihilism or despair, it was a demand for clarity. He believed that only by stripping away the layers of illusion could we confront the true nature of our relationships. This clarity is not comforting, it is raw, unsettling, and at times brutally honest. It challenges us to see beyond the seductive allure of romantic ideals and to acknowledge the deep instinctual drives that govern our behavior. Imagine a world where both men and women drop their masks. Men would cease to project their dreams onto women, and women would no longer hide behind the guise of moral superiority. Instead, both would stand in the light of truth, flawed, powerful, and undeniably real. This is not a utopia, it's a reawakening. It is the moment when the seductive veil of illusion is torn away, exposing the intricate, often chaotic interplay of desire, power, and survival. Nietzsche's vision calls for a transformation in how we relate to one another, a radical shift from idealization and manipulation to honest, if painful, self-awareness. It is a call for mutual recognition, a recognition that love is not a harmonious symphony, but a raw, unedited struggle where every relationship is a negotiation, every gesture a move in a high-stakes game. So what does it mean to embrace this brutal beauty? It means rejecting the sanitized narratives that have long masked the truth. It means understanding that the myth of the ideal woman is a lie. It's one constructed not out of malice, but out of a fundamental human need to feel secure in the face of the unknown. It means acknowledging that both men and women are driven by forces far more complex and primal than the neat categories of good and evil, purity and corruption. To truly see, we must let go of our fantasies and confront the reality. Relationships are a battlefield of instincts and survival strategies. The independent woman, once confined to the background, now strides boldly into the light, a force of nature reshaping the world around her. And the man, long ensnared by his own projections, must learn to face the full spectrum of what it means to desire, to love, and ultimately to live with the truth. In this awakening lies the possibility of a new kind of connection. A connection not based on illusion or sentimentality, but on a shared commitment to authenticity. It is not about mutual adoration or simple harmony. It is about acknowledging our inherent differences and, in doing so, forging a path that is defined by strength, resilience, and the courage to confront reality head on. Nietzsche did not write his philosophy to comfort us. He wrote it to challenge us, to force us to question the narratives we have been fed since birth. His words are a call to shed the comforting lies of blind worship and bitter resentment, to reject the notion that women must be seen only as symbols of virtue or as enigmatic adversaries. Instead, he invites us to look deeper, to see the raw, unfiltered human essence that lies beneath the surface. When the masks fall away, when the projections are exposed, what remains is not a bitter conclusion, but a chance for genuine clarity, a possibility for a redefined relationship where both men and women meet as equals in power and in vulnerability. This is not a reconciliation of the sexes in a conventional sense. It is a transformation of how we understand ourselves and each other. It demands the death of sentimentality and the birth of an unvarnished truth that honors our complexity rather than hiding it. So, if you're tired of the lies, if you're ready to move beyond the romantic illusions that have long clouded your vision, then it's time to step into this arena of truth. Recognize that the dynamics of love, power, and desire are not the simple, neat stories we've been told, but a chaotic, relentless struggle, a dance of instinct and strategy where the only constant is change. The harsh truth, as Nietzsche saw it, is not meant to divide us, but to liberate us. It is an invitation to look beyond the surface, to challenge the comfortable narratives that have long dictated our lives, and to embrace the raw, unapologetic reality of who we really are. It is the end of the era of blind worship and bitter resentment, a call to see women and indeed ourselves in the full, unfiltered light of truth. In this unyielding truth lies both the danger and the beauty of our existence. It is a truth that demands we abandon our illusions, confront our fears, and ultimately redefine our relationships on a foundation of mutual respect and honest recognition. It is not a story with a tidy ending or simple solution. It is the messy, exhilarating, and transformative reality of life. Step forward with open eyes and challenge your preconceptions, question your fantasies, and dare to see beyond the seductive lies. For in the willingness to face the raw, brutal truth, there lies the promise of genuine freedom. A freedom born from the courage to embrace our flaws, our instincts, and our most profound potential. Welcome to a revolution of thought. Welcome to the unvarnished truth, a truth that, once seen, can never be unseen.